Hello and welcome to Circle Time. Hi, Sue. Sue, did you know that this is the last week of school for us? That's right. This is the last week of this school year. Some of you have been with me for the entire school year, and we're going to have a special graduation ceremony on Friday. So I hope you'll join me for that. Don't worry, though, we'll be doing some summer activities, so that'll be fun, and some new things in store over the summer as well. Well, Sue, today's letter of the day is letter O, and O is for ocean. Have you ever been to the beach or to the ocean? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. We're even going to make an ocean in a bottle. Let's get started right away. We need to feed Fred before we do anything else, though. That's our class job. So let's take care of our fish. Here you go, Fred. There's some food for you. And now that we've done our job, let's turn around and do our calendar time. The month is May. Let's reach into our can and see how we're going to count today. It says we're going to swim. Can you swim? I bet you're a really great swimmer. Let's swim as we count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Today is May 22nd. Can you say today's date? May 22nd. If you want to know today's day of the week, you're going to have to go to the top. It starts with the letter M. Letter M says So what day is it today? Monday. Today is Monday. Days of the week. Days of the week. Days of the week. Days of the week, days of the week. There's Sunday and there's Monday. There's Tuesday and there's Wednesday. There's Thursday and there's Friday. And then there's Saturday. Days of the week. 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 Well, it is time to check the weather, so look outside and see what the weather's like for you today. Maybe your weather is sunny. Maybe it's rainy, or maybe it's windy. Do you see the trees blowing? When I do like this with my microphone, shout out whatever your weather is. What's the weather? What's the weather? What's the weather like today? What's the weather? What's the weather? What's the weather like today? It is out today. It is out today. Well, let's dress Weather Bear. Let's put on a swimsuit for Weather Bear since today we're talking about the ocean. Here you go, Weather Bear. You look great. And do you remember what the season is right now? The season is spring. It won't turn summer season until June next month. Well, that was our calendar and weather time, and now it's time for our letter of the day. And today's letter is the letter O. Do you have an O in your name? If your name has letter O, stand up. If your name has letter O, stand up. If your name has letter O, if your name has letter O, if your name has letter O, stand up. Well, today O is for ocean. And I decorated my O to look kind of like ocean water. I put some waves on there. I colored it blue. That's big O, and there's a little o. And this is an idea for decorating your letter O today. You could even add some fish stickers if you have them. Well, now that we can recognize letter O, we'll practice writing it. So let me show you how to make a letter O. It's really like a circle. You're going to start at the top. You're going to go all the way around and back where you started. That's how you make letter O. Would you like to practice too? You can get a copy of this Handwriting House printable, parents, at my website, and the link is below. This is a free resource for you. Start at the top, curve around, and all the way back. Start at the top, curve around, and all the way back. This is how you make the big letter O. You can keep practicing that if you'd like to. You can also practice the little letter O, and it looks the same. Start at the top, go around and back where you started. If you're using handwriting paper, then the little O needs to go downstairs. So find the stairs on the handwriting house sheet. There they are. And that's the line where little O needs to go. Around and back. Around and back, just like a circle. Around and back. Okay, you can practice your big O and your little O's today. And I want to cheer for you because I know you are doing such a great job listening and learning. And this is a sticker for your handwriting paper. Well, now we know what letter O looks like. We know how to write letter O. So it's time to talk about the sound that O makes. Letter O is one of those 5 special letters that we call the vowels. The vowels are A, E, I, O, U, A, E, I, O, U, A, E, I, O, U. These are the vowels. Well, the vowels are special letters, and they're special because every word must have one. If it doesn't have a vowel, then it's not a real word in English. So I have a friend, his name is Vowel O, and he can help us remember the sound that O makes. This is my friend O, but he has a sore throat. He needs to go to the doctor. The doctor says, open your mouth and say, ah. You can see that my friend O is saying, ah, at the doctor. Can you make that sound too? Ah. Your mouth kind of looks like a letter O when you do that. Ah. So that's the sound that letter O makes. Ah, like my friend O. But did you know that O and all the vowels can actually make 2 sounds? O can say ah, but also O can say its own name, O, as in ocean. So what 2 sounds can O make? Ah and O. Well, that was our letter of the day time, and now it's time for us to make something that starts with O, an ocean in a bottle. So this is our art project for today. I just took a water bottle, filled it with some water, put in some blue food coloring or just a little bit of paint if you don't have food coloring. And it's hard probably for you to see. Maybe I made mine a little too dark, but I added in some beads, and if you have glitter, you can add that in. Seashells if they'll fit inside. And I even cut a little foam fish. You can kind of see right there at the top. There's a little foam fish that's inside my bottle, so swimming around in there. So I just made an ocean in a bottle today for my art project. Well, I have a fun science activity that we can do before we read our story. So let's head to the science table and we'll talk about buoyancy. Okay, so today we're going to talk a little bit about buoyancy. I don't know if you knew this or not, but the ocean is filled with salt water. Let's see what happens to these eggs when I put one of the eggs in plain water. This one has plain water. I gently put an egg down in the plain water, and you can see that the egg goes to the bottom. It sinks. Let me move this one out of the way. You can see that the egg sank to the bottom in this jar. Now, in this jar, I have put salt, about 8 tablespoons of salt. So that's a good bit of salt. and I stirred it around. In fact, I'll stir it around a little bit more just to make sure that the salt is throughout the water. Now I'm going to take another egg and I'm going to put it in this saltwater jar. Hey, look at that. This egg floats. So why did the egg in the plain water not float? It sank. And why did the egg in the salt water float? Well, that's due to something called buoyancy. So buoyancy is just how heavy an object is. This egg is heavier than the plain water, but the salt water is heavier than the egg. So the heavier salt water is here at the bottom, and it actually pushed the lighter egg up to the top. So that's what buoyancy is. That's why it's a lot easier for you to swim and float in the ocean than it is in a regular swimming pool. Pretty cool. Well, it's time for us to read a story about the ocean. The name of our book today is The Three Little Fish and the Big Bad Shark. This book is by Ken Geist and Julia Gorton. The Three Little Fish and the Big Bad Shark. Once upon a time, there lived a mama fish and her three little fish, Jim, Tim, and Kim. "It's now time," said the mama, "for each of you to make a home in the deep blue sea." So off they went. The first little fish, named Jim, swam away and met a seahorse playing in some seaweed. "Can I have some of the seaweed to build a house?" "Take as much as you can carry," said the seahorse. Jim gathered the seaweed and made a weedy little house. Jim had just finished building his seaweed house when he heard the big bad wolf knocking at the door. Little fish, let me come in." The little fish trembled and replied, "Not by the skin of my finny fin. "Then I'll munch, and I'll crunch, and I'll smash your house in," roared the shark. So the big bad shark munched and he crunched and he ate up every bit of the seaweed house, and Jim swam away just in time. Soon Jim found his brother Tim. Tim said, "Don't worry, Jim, we fish stick together. You can help me build a sandy little house." Jim and Tim had just started to relax in the sandy little house when the big bad shark came knocking at the door. Little fish, let me come in." To which the brave little fish replied, "Not by the skin of my finny fin. Then I'll munch, and I'll crunch, and I'll smash your house in," roared the shark. So the big bad shark munched and he crunched until he got a sandy mouthful and the house crumbled. Jim and Tim swam and swam until they reached their sister Kim. Kim was setting up her house in an old wooden ship. "The big bad wolf destroyed our house." "Don't worry, you can live with me," said Kim, and they did. The three little fish had just finished lunch when they heard the big bad shark knocking at their door. Little fish, let me come in." To which the smart fish replied, "Not by the skin of my finny fin. Then I'll munch and I'll crunch and I'll smash your house in," roared the shark. The big bad shark munched and he crunched, and he crunched and he munched, and he munched and he crunched, but he could not smash the house in, and all his teeth fell out. The three little fish were safe at last, and the big bad wolf, well, he never munched or crunched any houses anymore. In fact, he lived the rest of his days eating seaweed. The end. Well, I hope you've had some fun today with letter O is for ocean, and I hope I'll see you tomorrow for letter P. Goodbye, everyone. Have a great day.